Welcome, 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 welcome. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Today is Tuesday, September 30th. I'm currently in the chaos of moving out from one apartment to another. Last night, or actually yesterday, I had moved out all my furniture, all the TVs. And then I'm in my closet. It's like 10 p.m. and I'm like looking down and I see this dresser and it's like this dresser wasn't here. Like I should have moved this. So I totally spaced out on that. And then I had to throw it up on Marketplace, get that shit up out of here. But it's 9:54 a.m. I just got that out of here. Yesterday I was moving and then had jujitsu. I missed trade recap, or I missed the market. I missed the market open of yesterday, and then today I'm a little bit late. So bear with me now, y'all boys. Okay, so there is 10 a.m. news, JOLT's job openings. And then Trump is speaking at 11. Let's go on to the charts. First, let me show you news so you can see it as well. There's news, JOLT's job openings. Forecast is higher than the previous. 3 minutes, 50 seconds on that. But likely another 15 minutes, but 15 minutes for to account for whatever comes out. And now we see the charts. So what my plan is right now is I'm going to film this trade recap, move some more things out, finish what I need to do for today, and then I'm going to hop on that other trade recap. So let me mark out orb. Now, if you're new, what I mean by marking out orb, opening range breakout, is the first 15 minutes of the market open. And I mark out the high and the low of that wick, the wick of the candle. Both on the left we have S&P 500, on the right we have NASDAQ. So I'm marking out this opening range, the high and the low. So regarding pre-market, what happened during pre-market as well as even yesterday. Yesterday, I guess pre-market from yesterday, as yesterday was Monday, so we had the weekend and then into Monday. Price had been falling, but it looks like just moving sideways, not making any trend outside of consolidation. It's just consolidating. And then you see into market open. Today is the 30th. This was yesterday, so also yesterday we had there was a leg down, but price was at all-time highs, considering that was pre-market. That was pre-market on Monday. Price made all-time highs, right? No, not all-time highs, sorry. I apologize for the incorrect. for the incorrect judgment. But price had this leg up. This was from Friday over the weekend into Monday. There was this leg up. Price took out all these recent draws. And then we have into today, moving sideways. Volatile consolidation. The news at 10 a.m. It's currently 10 a.m. Price is breaking orb on ES. Still bearish on the daily. Same for NQ. Now, what am I looking for? I'm looking for candle closure outside of here, which breaks this current trend. So it shows a break of structure to the upside because the recent high is higher. The current high is higher than the recent high. Price broke structure to the upside. That's saying if it closes outside of here, above this price level. So you see close out of here, hinting to the trend of continuation of the upside. Although there has not been consistent momentum to the, not momentum, but volume to the upside, which is not very optimal in this situation, especially the fact that price came down, came back up, came back down, consecutive candle closures with inside of orb tells me that price might either A, be moving sideways, or B, a bigger move than expected, but not consistent, not something that you'd want to place your conviction on. But the alternative, what we would like to see is, since price is moving to the upside, that's if it closes above here, right? We're looking for more green here than red. More green indicates that there's more volume coming to the upside, furthering me to think, hey, maybe let's wait for the retracement. So say price closes above here at this point, we look for a retracement, a candle back down into this opening range, and then wait for price to exit again through another candle. Or even, we could just say off of, if price closed up here, wicked down here, closed back up here, and it looked as though volume was increasing, that would be a point of entry. But say price comes up here, comes back down here, makes another candle within here, I might as well just wait or close my computer. But the way it looks, price looks like it's moving strong. You have this strong leg up. Let's just see if it continues. But NQ is the lagging index. There are these low resistance draws to the upside. Boom, boom. So regarding my point of entry, In order for me to enter, I wanted a candle closure outside of here, similar to what's going on right now, in addition to candle close or a candle retrace back inside of this opening range, and then another candle exiting. Enter on that 5-minute candle closure exiting, placing your take profit one at 1 RR, 1 risk to reward, second take profit at a further draw on liquidity, such as maybe these if trend continues higher. I'm not sure if today is a day for price to move to that extent, especially since price closed within side of orb here. That's not a great sign. And now I'm thinking maybe NQ is the leading index. For this narrative, for price to push further down. But to me, it seems like it's at a point where it's just going to move within here. What I would rather see, what I would like to see, is what I would have liked to see regarding like 950, 951, 952, 955 was at least closing outside of this range. But this is a day where you close your laptop and then you smile and you go do something else. Damn, so the forecast, okay, so there was JOLT's job openings. Okay, JOLT's job opening is and labor turnover. So the previous was 7.21 million. Forecast was less than the previous, but the actual was greater than the previous. Indicating a cooler labor market. This declining trend fits the current economic narrative of a moderating labor market, suggesting a slowdown but not necessarily a recession. The data shows a balance between declining openings and a rise in layoffs, which is a reversal of the Great Resignation period. Relatively stable compared to June. Job openings are declining and are close to job openings are declining and are close to pre-pandemic levels. A shift from the rapid decline seen in the immediate post-pandemic years. Hires remain largely unchanged in July. Total separations were also unchanged, but composition is shifting. So I think this I'm in my from my understanding, I feel like this fits the slow narrative of cutting rates. It's not really a necessary. It's not really something that needs to happen right now. It's not an urgent deal. I guess it fits into the Fed's narrative that he's trying to slowly take this process slowly while you have Trump and then um, the individual guy who's from his cabinet, Fed Myron, that are these. Their narrative is that this needs to happen now and it should have happened already. This being by rates being cut, and when rates get cut, um, I guess it's like unemployment has been something that has been it's more of like another variable in the mix, not really something that is heavily relied on when thinking about cutting rates, because it's not something that's I'm trying to think more as consumer spending is something that's more important regarding rates getting cut, as well as um, the overall health of the economy. So the fact that this isn't something that um, speculators are worried about. Therefore, it's going with the overall plan, I guess. If it's very similar to the previous values, previous data. Price is just moving within orb. So, with this being said, actually no, where you see a breakout structure to the downside through the 930 candle. Price exited orb on NQ as well as ES to the downside. You don't take the first move outside of orb. But the fact that we had that news at 10 a.m., or there was that news at 10 a.m., which likely was bullish news, the fact that it strengthens the current narrative. Price was bullish, reacting off of that. Right now it's 10:12, almost 10:15. You have 2.5 minutes until this candle closes. But lower low, lower high, lower low. Let's see. I want to see what this 10:15 candle will do. Depending on that, then I will probably hop off. But today is September 30th, and with that being said, I had the plan to not trade rest of September on a don't trade on a funded account, but trade on the demo account. And tomorrow there's news, 8:15, OPEC meetings, ADP, non-farm employment change, ISM manufacturing, ISM prices, unemployment claims on Thursday, unemployment rate Friday, ISM services, average hourly earnings. Now these things are things that likely fall into this batch of statistics where I think altogether they can help the Fed decide whether or not he's going to cut rates sooner versus later. But next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, FOMC meetings, minutes, and this could be a possible date where the rates would get cut or may not. Who knows? Might be later in this year. But FOMC meeting minutes on Wednesday, but the fact that there's nothing on Monday or Tuesday, Thursday unemployment claims, Friday preliminary, University of Michigan, so not very that on Friday, CPI Wednesday, Thursday. What I'm thinking is planning on getting a funded account not this week, but then next week, trading that Monday, Tuesday, showing up regardless, but whether I place a position not is up to that day's price action and how it relates to this current strategy that I'm using. Trade that Monday, Tuesday, again that next week, Wednesday and Thursday, depending upon how price reacts to this news. Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, unemployment claims. Yeah. This would be Monday of next week. $10.15 candle stayed with an orb. I'm going to write the trade recap and then I'm going to get up out of here. What was the 10 a.m. news? Okay, so I looked up how does JOLT job openings affect the market and support or deter the current narrative? Narrative being the overall expectation within the market. A higher than expected number of job openings signals a robust economy, potentially leading to higher inflation and interest rates. Which could hurt stock prices, but support the US dollar. Yeah, right. Support the US dollar. Conversely, a lower than expected number indicates a cooling market, raising hopes for rate cuts and potentially boosting stocks. So I guess the narrative, so while signaling weakness in the economy, the JOLT report is a significant input for the Federal Reserve, influencing interest rates decisions to manage inflation and economic growth. So strong job openings can signal corporate expansion and potentially higher profits, but they also signal the need for the Federal Reserve to raise interest rates to control inflation. So I think a narrative, I guess I really don't know. But I think if rates are cut too quick, if rates are cut in a bigger point basis, current being 25 basis points, if they were to be higher rate cuts, I think that then there's also the fear that inflation would rise as well. Because if money, when interest rates are cut, money is borrowed at a money is borrowed cheaper, paying less on their loan. Therefore, there is more money to be spent, more money in the market. But the current narrative, I don't think anything's strengthening the dollar. Yeah, more dovish stance on interest rates. It's hard for me to really explain what's going on. I don't know. I'm trying to write even in my even here in what like reflecting on today, but I just don't know. I don't know how to piece it together. I'm trying. Fits the current support of the current narrative. I'm gonna get some water. Bro, no type of chairs in this place either, bro. I'm sitting on the floor with it. Bro, I'm in here sleeping. And then I wake up to take a piss. And bro, I'm like trying to close. I'm trying to cover my eyes so I don't see the sunlight, just so I can go right back to sleep. And then I'm like laying down, going back to sleep in the covers, bro. And then I hear the door open. And I'm like, what the fuck? Hello? Hello? That's probably what I fucking sounded like. I'm like, hello? I'm like, yo, I still have today, don't I? And they said, yeah, you still got today. All right. Then why the fuck you here? Please, get out. Respectfully. Let me get the curry all nice and peace. All right, here's the last look at the charts. Not shit going on. I'm gonna catch y'all boys on the next one.